Vince Russo says 2 current WWE RAW superstars are being punished. Bray Wyatt promises a new start on Raw after WrestleMania. And Charlotte Flair makes a huge statement on her Raw return. Hello everyone, Jose G here bringing you today's top stories in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling News Roundup. Vince Russo says 2 current WWE RAW superstars are being punished. Vince Russo feels that WWE is punishing 2 current Raw superstars because of how they were booked on last night's show. The Viking Raiders returned to WWE on the Raw after WrestleMania, facing Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, formerly of the Hurt Business. Ivar and Eric ended up winning the match. Speaking on Sportskeeda's Legion of Raw show, Vince Russo stated that the match, in manner which Benjamin and Alexander were booked last night, was WWE ways of punishing them, while also justifying the company's decision to break up the Hurt Business. Here's what Vince Russo said about the Hurt Business in this week's edition of Legion of Raw on Sportskeeda Wrestling.
But Chris, we had good news after this. The Viking Raiders are back. Thank God, God Almighty, the Viking Raiders are back very much, bro. And of course,
Vince, I'm gonna tell you why they came back.
Why they come?
That was a special request from the focus group.
Yep. Focus group have an impact. And of course, the Viking Raiders came back to beat the Hurt Business. So I guess that was their punishment for Lashley and MVP maybe speaking up. They didn't want to break up the Hurt Business. Well, now not only have we broken them up, but now we've beaten them with the Viking Raiders. So now they mean nothing.
You can watch the full episode of Legion of Raw with Dr. Chris Featherstone and Vince Russo on our Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel and Facebook watch page. Booker T compares WrestleMania 37 match fan reaction to when the streak was broken. WWE legend Booker T believes that fans were shocked after Drew McIntyre lost to Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 37, comparing it to when The Undertaker's streak was broken. Booker T on his Hall of Fame podcast discussed WrestleMania 37 and their first match of the show, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. The 2-time WWE Hall of Famer compared the fan reaction of that match to when The Undertaker's streak was broken at WrestleMania 30, saying, quote, "I don't know if that's what they wanted though. Let me tell you something. I was there. I saw it up close and personal. The fans were so shocked, literally I thought somebody in front row was going to die from shock. It was surprising, but the air seemed like, I wouldn't say left the arena or anything like that, but everybody was shocked to the point where almost like The Undertaker's streak was broken. That's the way it felt in the arena when Drew McIntyre did not break the Hurt Lock. A lot of people did not see that happening the way it happened," end quote. Booker T's co-host Brad Gilmore disagreed with the WWE's legend assessment and said that Lashley winning the match was what the fans wanted to see. Bobby Lashley defended his WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre at the Show of Shows this past weekend. The WWE Championship match was the very first match of WrestleMania 37, which took place on night 1 of the show. Lashley got the win after putting McIntyre in the Hurt Lock. The 2 superstars will face each other once again at the next month's pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash. Bray Wyatt promises a new start on Raw after WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt brought back the Firefly Funhouse tonight on Raw after Mania. Last night's episode of Raw focused on the aftermath of WrestleMania 37. It was evident that Alexa Bliss and Wyatt would have some explaining to do after what transpired in the match between The Fiend and Randy Orton on night 2 of the Show of Shows. While Bliss gave a vague answer as to why she betrayed The Fiend earlier in the show on Alexa's playground, Wyatt seemed to look on the bright side of things and promised a new start for him and the Firefly Funhouse. The alter ego of The Fiend appeared in the Funhouse along with his puppets companions. With Ramblin' Rabbit announcing the return of Wyatt, a jovial Bray Wyatt greeted the WWE Universe and said that it was good to be back in the Funhouse with his true friends. Abby the Witch made some rather unsavory remarks about Alexa Bliss due to her aforementioned actions, while Ramblin' Rabbit said that he misses Bliss. Bray Wyatt seemingly got angered at the mention of the former Raw Women's Champion's name, but then said they have each other and it will be a new start for all of them. He added that the Firefly Funhouse was going into a new season and he felt reborn. Every WWE fan in attendance at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa and watching at home witnessed Bliss pulling the Fiend Bray Wyatt into a trance at WrestleMania, which allowed Randy Orton to hit him with an RKO to get the pinfall. After the match, the lights went out and they came back. Both Fiend and Bliss had disappeared from the ring, which left fans begging for answers. As mentioned earlier, both Bliss and Wyatt provided vague reasons for what happened. Now it remains to be seen if Wyatt or the Fiend will ever cross paths again with Bliss to exact revenge, or whether both will go their separate ways. Roman Reigns reacts to negative fan reaction reception at WrestleMania 37. Roman Reigns has reacted to the reception received from fans at WrestleMania 37 in his latest tweet. Reigns came out as Universal Champion for the main event of WrestleMania and walked out of Raymond James Stadium with the belt still on his shoulders. The Tribal Chief pinned both Edge and Daniel Bryan to secure the victory and retain his title. Roman Reigns received quite a negative reaction this weekend, and the boos from the live audience could be clearly heard. It should be noted that Reigns is quite possibly the biggest heel on WWE TV at the moment. Reigns posted a photo of fans flipping him off at WrestleMania and wrote in the caption that the WWE Universe missed their Tribal Chief. Roman Reigns is one of the most controversial WWE superstars in history. His babyface run back in the day wasn't well received by the WWE Universe, and he regularly put up with negative reactions for years on end. Roman Reigns finally turned heel upon his return at SummerSlam 2020 following a month of long absence. He has been doing incredibly well on SmackDown ever since. It isn't a stretch by any means to call him the best heel on WWE TV currently. The boos that Roman Reigns received surprised a lot of people, while others stated this is the exact reaction that a good heel is supposed to get. Charlotte Flair makes a huge statement on her Raw return. Charlotte Flair made her return to Monday Night Raw last night to address the WWE Universe and the rest of the women's division. The Queen made it clear to the world that she was unhappy about not being involved in WrestleMania. Flair was out of action for at least a month after she tested positive for COVID-19, which made WWE change title plans for WrestleMania 37, as she was Asuka's original challenger. The 13-time women's champion made an emphatic return to television and made a huge statement last night, putting the entire women's division on notice. Charlotte shared her thoughts about the division, claiming that many women were happy that she was absent from the show of shows. She claimed they were happy to finally have an opportunity at WrestleMania, but she would then inform them she was the opportunity. Charlotte Flair called out a number of superstars in the women's division, including Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax. She even gave her opinion on the Raw Women's Championship match that took place at WrestleMania 37 between Rhea Ripley and Asuka. She essentially called Asuka a coward for refusing to acknowledge her original challenge for the Raw Women's title back in March, and then proceeded to call Rhea Ripley the biggest snake in the locker room. Charlotte Flair may feel she was cheated out of a championship match at WrestleMania. However, it will only be a matter of time before she finds herself in the title picture once again, especially considering the talent and resume she brings along with her. Fans can expect to see the Queen issue a challenge to the new Raw Women's Champion in the coming weeks, possibly leading to a rematch between the two. Flair made it clear in her return that she is tired of being referred to as someone who takes opportunities away from others, but still strongly believes that she has not been given the respect she deserves. Perhaps she will get that respect once she enters the ring with Rhea Ripley and attempts to take the title from her. Thanks for watching today's News Roundup. For more news stories and exclusive content, be sure to follow us on all social media. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.